Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Our procedure is that each case that comes before us will be introduced by Matt Sandy, our plan director. As he calls your case, we'd ask that you'd come to the end of the table here and be prepared to share your information with us. Give your name as you start your comments so we have that as a part of the record. We may have some questions for you, and then we'll see after you're finished, we'll see if anyone here is in support of your case or if anyone here is in opposition. After we've heard that information, the petitioner will have the opportunity to respond to any concerns that have been brought up. After that is concluded, then the meeting will be closed to public comment while we come to some determination as to the case. We do have a little bit of paperwork to complete after each case, so there'll be a little bit of a delay while we do that. Then we'll call the next case. That, Matt?
Okay, a couple housekeeping items just to start with. First and foremost, if you do have your cell phone with you, please turn it down or off. It can be distracting during the hearing. Also with that, if your hearing is approved today and it has to deal with a permit, they don't know what's happening in the office, so please do not go straight over and ask for a permit. They won't be able to do a permit. You can come in as soon as this afternoon or later this month, as long as all your ducks are in a row. So,
and we're having trouble with the mics. Can you hear us okay? They're coming through. Okay.
Good deal. All right, so the first two I'm going to read together. First one is a continuance of case exception 2025-67 for Kevin Carr. And then the second one is a continuance of variance 2025-175 for Kevin Carr. Both these properties are on State Road 15. If you remember right, sewage was a major issue that was discussed. We had actually continued it off for them to touch base with the City of Warsaw. City of Warsaw is actually looking at annexing them so they can get sewer. So I would say just continue it off another month. It should be complete at that point, which at that time, then we can just withdraw it from. So that would be December 9th.
Second it. You heard the motion, seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, with that then, we can pick up with continuance of exception 2025-94 for Marcella Manns. Someone here for the Manns hearing. All right. This is a petition for the purpose of allowing a home-based business auto repair in an ag district. Property is located on the south side of Hill Lake Road and 0 feet west of State Road 15 in Clay Township. This one was continued from last month for a couple different reasons. One, the operator of the business wasn't able to be here. Petitioner did request that we continue to offer that. Also, you did continue it in order for the petitioner and operator to get with us to kind of discuss some of the issues that we had at the previous hearings. So the video, I've actually got the old video as well as the newer video taken last week, just to show you where we're at in comparison. Right there's property in question. We're on the corner of Hill Lake Road and State Road 15. Right there's the building that the auto shop is operating out of, Hill Lake Road. Again, this is from the original hearing, the video. Some of our concern was parking in the right of way, just the organization of the site. And then also, if you remember right, we had concerns and questions about who was living in the house and how that was linked to the business itself. And this is the new video looking from last week. You can see the cornfields now down. Fence line would be the right-of-way line. So just to give you a point of reference, that chain link fence would be on the right-of-way. The petitioner's vehicle stacked back off to the west, Hill Lake Road. Still have some issues with the right-of-way right there. Or the original hearing, legal idea properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding it.
You're on here, folks.
So I have
Your name, please.
name is Zach Behan. I run the business. I have this changing the parking situation. And plan on organizing it, getting it is like that right now as far as. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've cleaned up everything. We ended up putting some screening on one end of the fence, per the people complaining, about being able to see vehicles on the property. So we did the one end of the fence. There's screening and stuff on there, to be able to cover those vehicles and pretty much have everything reorganized to where it's parked within the driveway or basically off the road, as per you guys requested. And I mean, I think he's done, I mean, a lot of improvements compared to what it was when we first came in.
Zach, I know you and I had talked. We're still extending into the right of way with the vehicles stored.
Okay, well, I mean, it's off the roadway. I mean, you're still off the roadway by 3 or 4 feet.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see where that's an issue. I mean, it's not impeding traffic. It's not causing an, I mean, it's not in the way, I guess, of somebody driving down the road.
It's just in the office too. How do you maneuver the site without backing into the right of way, pulling back in? I mean,
Yes, you pull into the road,
Your name, please, for the record.
Marcella Mans.
Thank you.
And he temporarily has to do that to be able to move the cars around.
And that's part of the concern and problem, because you should be able to operate totally on your own site.
And it is. I mean, the right of way is on the property. I mean, and it's not sitting in the right of way long term. And I didn't read through the zoning ordinance that you guys have listed, and it doesn't say anything in there about like that can't be done. It says within the property as much as possible. And I mean, the right of way is still, I mean, it's owned by the county, it's owned by the property. I mean, you guys have permission to use it to do utility work, stuff like that. And like I said, everything's not in there when it's, you know, it's basically maybe they'd be there for the day of work and maybe put back in proper order. That truck, I think, that day he was out there, that truck got moved a couple hours later.
No, it did. I was by there a number of different days.
I was driving that truck. I drove that truck like 3 or 4 times. I was there. My black truck is sitting there. I was actually there at the time that you were here. So, but I mean, we moved everything off. There's nothing up impeding the roadway. I mean, we removed that vehicle that was completely within right away. That one is gone, been moved on the driveway pad. I mean, everything's on the driveway pad. This time, I mean, I think that one may be right away by like 2 feet if you want to get a tape measure out, measure it. I mean, but it's still parked off the side and not on the road.
One thing that you and I even talked about, taking down the fence and creating a parking area over in this area to get those vehicles off the right of way, maneuverable, so you can operate without having to play the shell game trying to move the truck so you can get the other truck out.
Moving the trucks, I don't see why that's an issue. I mean, you got to move stuff to be able to work. Like I said, I have everything organized by what has to be, what can move, can be driven, and what can't. And that was a big issue, was trying to utilize as much of the driveway as possible when we first initially came in. And that's what I've done. I mean, like I said, I was driving that vehicle, diagnosed it, why it was sitting there. My truck was parked in the spot where it usually goes. I mean, like I said, I think we've made a very vast improvement, and it's on a very highly traveled road, and it's not where somebody's going to see it and think they're going to hit it. I mean, it's, like I said, it's about 3 or 4 feet off the road in that picture. And I don't see, I guess, an impedance of that being there. I mean, temporarily. It's not like it lived there. It's not like it's been there for multiple months. It's been there for like a week and a half, maybe at the most. And it moved forward constantly. I pulled it up that day after it was there. I was parking there when I was driving it. It never stayed there overnight.
Other question, and I know this came up because you had indicated you're moving, Marcella, if
Yes.
I remember right. So Zach, you're moving into the house, or you moved into the house?
In the process of that, yes.
Have you established your residency there yet?
I got my address switched. I didn't go to the BMV and switch my license. They needed a piece of mail. I have got a piece of mail at the house yet. They didn't do that.
As we look forward, the fence that goes this way, I set all the screening across there. So it's not visible from
See
the other
through the
house.
fence on the end.
And this fence over here, it got hit by a tree. This tree right here, it split. And, I'm wanting to repair that in the spring. I put it on the guy's list. So at that time, you know, we can make, you know, move it over. But right now, I've got to get someone professional to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But right now, it's damaged. And it took out the gate and everything on there. I mean, my dog's, you know, in there and all that, but it is damaged. At that time, I might even put up a privacy fence, a wooden fence or something.
Make sure you check with us on those. Those are a little different than chain link.
Yes, I will do that.
Are you willing to allow more parking? I mean, to move the fence over and allow more parking space?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm even thinking about, this corner of the building. I mean, I'll have to get a permit and everything, but I'm thinking about putting another bay on that and move it over and then taking a large portion over here for a driveway. That's what, I've already discussed that with Zach as a possibility too.
You have a proposal for the map that you brought about being able to mark something on their parking situation.
That's more of Zach's.
I mean,
I think it has to be approved by you, correct?
Right, yeah, we've discussed it, and I'm okay with what he does. Zach's never been a problem for me at all. He's a good worker.
Because that was what I tried when we were talking, had encouraged him to show. It seemed like there was maybe some concerns that you didn't want that to happen.
we just weren't sure on that, I mean,
Yeah,
pricing and cost and, you know, stuff like that.
right.
Get that done.
Custom Fencing is the one that did my fence. And so, they're the one that will, I'll have them extend it out and then, redo it and then probably put a different type of gate in at that point.
So you're looking pretty busy.
He is very busy. He is, and he's doing a great job.
Our main concern is the parking.
Well, she has the other field down the road that she said I can start parking stuff in if I need to. But I've been trying to keep everything contained in the driveway and the property.
Yeah, I do have a field I told him that he can start using if he does have. you
On
know,
this property?
overflow. On my property, yes.
Is it on that map?
No, it's
No, it's
farther
on
down.
down-
It's
it's
the
farther
next
down.
lot down. Like it's down the road.
It's a 5 acre, lot is what I live on. And it's on down to the end of that fence, and there's a gate there. And, I told him that he's more than willing, you know, to use that if he needs to.
In certain areas.
Are you selling your home to him?
No, I'm not. My fiance lives in Connecticut. And, we will be back and forth, but I'm going to live in Connecticut with him. And, he's living, you know, he's pretty much moved into my house right now. And, I need someone there that's going to oversee the property. And, you know, that's perfect for that.
These business require ownership of the property.
Not ownership, but the operator must live there full time.
Well, that's where we're at with it.
You know, none of this is new, I don't think. I think we talked about a lot of this at the first hearing as well, and maybe and would show some.
If I remember correctly, you had area back behind the garage building there that you had your dogs.
Yeah, that's their area that's fenced in.
Okay, are the dogs staying?
Two of the three will be.
So my point is, that's an area also that could be used for parking or.
Yeah, that's what we were going to do. It was going to take out the fence that's damaged and move it over. And, like I said, we're thinking about extending another bay on there for Zach. So he's got more room, and then at that point in time, we will extend the fence out and give him the proper room that he needs. But right now, I told him he could use the field for overflow.
You're talking field, this area right here.
Yes. This is a pond, right?
Yeah.
This way of the pond.
On 15?
Yeah, it's on 15. There's a gate right
No,
down there.
it's where you were originally.
Okay, it's where you come off Hill Lake Road,
No, it's right here. So it's a smaller little outbuilding.
right there.
Nope, keep going.
Mhm. There's a gate down there that he can just drive through. He
Will-
temporarily needs to feed,
Will you be putting any screening up there at all along the south side?
Well, if he, once he starts to use it, we're only going to have maybe one or two vehicles down there. At the most.
Because again, I respectfully disagree that you're in the right of way. You can't have vehicles in the right of way.
Mhm.
That's a safety issue. That's a plowing issue. That's a safety issue, a maintenance issue.
Also,
Even a couple feet makes a difference.
well, we have farmers that park alongside all the time.
Apples and oranges is kind of.
Well,
Apples and oranges.
it's the same thing. I don't ever go out there and say, hey, you are, making it so if I back out, I'm going to hit you or anything. People's got to work.
So this is the problem. You're resistant to what we're trying to get accomplished.
No, sir.
To continue.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Okay.
You're resistant because you want to park in the right of way.
I'm not.
No, we don't.
Your attitude says you farmers are doing it so we can.
No, I'm just saying that I don't say anything to them. If they need to park over there, I'm okay with it. Zach is not, he's trying to do everything he can out there to, to stay out of the right of way.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you. May be seated. Anyone here in support? Anyone in opposition?
We did have a new letter of remonstrance come in. I know we got that out to you. It's a petition signed by a number of different owners and basically stating their reasons. I think I passed that around already.
So no one in opposition? Come forward.
Excuse me.
Gentlemen of the board, Director Sandy, I'm Austin Jones, the property owner of 8491 South State Road 15. They have parked in that field for overflow in the past before, and that's right out my back door. I get I have 5 acres of field there, but it's nothing but fields. There's no trees that block that view. Other than when the fence row grows up, but that's not exactly the most beautiful thing to stare at in the world. Marcella was kind enough to put up a little bit of screening there within the last week. We've been at this 60 days and they've been at this over a year. So, I feel like they can progress a little faster. So that's my largest concern is parking, environmental impact. There's a commercial building for lease just right down the road in Silver Lake that, could be easily occupied, would give Zach plenty of business. And I think that would address your fears, Mr. Beer, about wanting to shut down a small business. I have no intents of that. I'd like to see Zach succeed, but he needs the room to grow. And I just don't think this property offers him that in any case. Mostly with Marcella still wanting to maintain her dogs, which I have a feeling that's going to be hard to do when you're in Connecticut and your dogs are in the state of Indiana. The story just doesn't add up and add up and add up. And here we are for the 3rd time discussing this. And I would like to see Zach find a commercial real estate that could support him. So, I just don't think this agricultural zone is what would do it for him. So that's about my only opposition. I do applaud them for semi-cleaning it up, but I just have a feeling it's just going to be, we need more parking. We're going to be parking on the east side of the building next and then into the field. And it's just a no win for anyone. And the petition was signed by every landowner that conjoins their property. Even some folks on here living at the same address wanted to sign it twice. That's how much they felt about it. So just would love for that to be considered in this. Thank you.
Anyone else? Discussion?
I think with the current conditions, we should deny the request.
Got a motion?
That is a motion.
Second. Any discussion? This has been an ongoing issue for months, and it's just been a constant struggle, I think, for us to try to get things done. I don't see this going any really positive direction in the long run. I would, any other discussion? Motion is to deny. Any other thoughts? Been seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Denied. Now, we should probably talk about allowing a time frame for the operation to be.
If you want to give more than the standard 30 days, yeah, I would say, want to make sure that's noted.
I think in fairness, they do need more than 30 days. We're coming into the winter months. So,
Can I say something? Am I allowed to say something to this?
no,
Because I don't understand where in
No.
your zoning ordinance I'm violating anything. I think it's
You're out of
we're
order.
gonna take one person's complaint.
you're out
It's
of
super
order.
biased. And I'm not violating anything.
I think they
Any
heard that,
home-based
and I
ordinance.
think they're making some discussions. They're trying to work with you as far as.
And I don't think the board should be able to make a unanimous decision
Sir,
off of something that's not within your home-based business.
I think you're working against yourself right
You
now.
have literally 5 different lines
this
and
is
you guys can't.
exactly why it's why we've come to the conclusion we've come to. So, now, how much time?
It's in 90 days.
Second.
And then if they're not out by 90 days, $1,000 a month.
Oh, that-
We'll
that's
seek,
the-
we'll seek enforcement maximum.
All right, so all in favor of the 90-day period for them to.
Aye.
Go ahead, take a little bit of time on your findings. If you agree with the staff comment findings, you can adopt those as well.
get it later.
Okay, the next two we can hear together, same property, slightly different questions, both continuances. First one is continuance exception 2025-95 for Isaac Miller. And this petition for exception for the purpose of allowing a home-based business, construction business in an ag district. Property is located on the north side of 1250 north and 2,650 feet east of 300 west in Jefferson Township. Along with that, petitioner is requesting continuance of case variance 2025-241 for variance which permit allowing a 60 square foot sign for a home-based business when ordinance allows 24 square foot in an ag district. All right, here's the property in question. This hearing was continued for a couple different items. One was to see if the petitioner could come up with a good plan to show how the materials could be stored in such a way that they'd be less intrusive, kind of meeting the goals and objectives of the home-based business criteria, getting them back behind screening, that whatnot. Also, a major concern that there was with traffic. If you remember right, this actually was brought to us by a complaint from a school bus driver who had a traffic issue. Also, we had complaints from other neighbors who had similar instances with semis parking along the road, creating instances, loading, unloading, that type of thing. Anyone here from Miller? So we did talk with the petitioner. We did talk with the highway department, and they show the video first. This is what it originally looked like at our showing the video just so you can remember where we're at. Kind of lower area, you can see wood materials out there. That shed's actually been relocated. Fuel tanks still exist. That first rack right there has been moved. So if you remember right, that hill, some of the concerns were the semis that were bringing the materials just parking along the road, and especially at night, dark areas this time of year was creating a traffic hazard. What we discussed was what alternatives there may be for traffic, as well as storage materials. That was the original. Since that point, we did get back out to the property, and that is the property as of last week. It does look like there is more materials, a gazebo of some sort built. And see the rest of the area. We did get a complaint last week on this is before I was out actually, about another trailer parked along the road and traffic coming the other way. So traffic still is. That'll freeze it right there. We did talk to the highway department. If you look at the revised plan that the petitioner has given us, he's showing a cutoff coming off road right about the low area and coming in. He did talk to the highway department. Highway department very reluctant to grant a driveway permit. Saw the traffic issues. At the same time, there are expertise that they do not feel that this would resolve the issue with semis, just because that still does not give a whole lot. You can see where the fuel tank is, that drive there. Do not give room for the semi to maneuver on site. And if you can imagine, right here, this low area, quite a bit of fill would have to be brought in. For the hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding.
Good morning, guys. I'm Isaac Miller, and yeah, that video, everything. So for the driveway, there's like an off ramp there right now that was put in previously before I had bought the business or bought the property, and it comes in quite a bit on this side of that park trailer there, and that fuel tank is also going to move. I'm in the process of selling that right now, which we had talked about earlier. That thing's gonna move, which takes my driveway quite a bit farther up. Other side, I mean, past the fuel tank, not past it, but right where the fuel tank is, where I was planning on putting the driveway in, bring the semis in.
Is it, maybe it's just moved around. Is there more material there than there was last? Have you brought more material in?
Not this last month, no. It has been quite a bit of moving around of material.
What about the little gazebo?
That is a gazebo that we use at the home shows, and it was sitting there, and I wanted to put it up, get it out of the way, and try to get rid of it. We'd use it in the home shows previously.
I know we talked about this before. Have you considered using the other end of your property for the
Like-
business at all?
Behind it, or,
The western end?
Oh.
Have room and good visibility? Because part of the visibility issue is the hill,
Uh-huh.
and the semis parking there. Down here, you're at the top of that hill, you have good line of sight both directions.
Mhm.
And, you know, we don't go looking for complaints, but when folks are calling saying, hey, I almost got a head-on accident because the truck was parked there and vehicles are going, that's concerning.
Right, and that's what I thought I'd fix with the semi coming in off like the drawing shows. I mean, the semi just has to pull in, he comes in about 30 feet off the road, and he just parks along with the road.
When they come out of the side, so they're gonna pull in here is what you're
Yes,
anticipating.
yes,
They're gonna pull up here,
yes.
are they turning like this and then backing out?
No, they'll just turn out on the road and keep right on going.
So they're going back off to the west, they're not going
They're,
east.
if they come from the east, they keep going east,
So
or they go west, sorry.
How are you gonna assure that?
Well, I unload the semis myself.
Okay,
I mean, there's an easy round, half mile down the road, they can go back out on 15 if they want to. I wouldn't think that would be an issue.
you have to back east to go 15.
Well, they'd have to go down around the 300 or what, the next road down,
Take it up to 13.
yeah, 1350, just make a circle.
So do you have any help out there when semis are coming in and pulling? It's you,
I'm the only one there to unload them, yes.
so
Is it the same drivers each time?
Well, that's something that I can do. The guy that I get this lumber from, he has a guy that probably delivers to me 50% of the time, but sometimes it's another guy if he can't do it quick enough. But I could always have the same guy delivering.
Because you can see, I mean, definitely, you know, same kind of discussion we had about right away, using that right away for parking for that stage. And
Mhm.
especially if we're having issues now before the winter's setting in, when they're out there plowing, if that plow truck's come through, he doesn't see the last minute. Bad.
will you be unloading him about where that fuel tank is sitting now? The nose of the truck will be up.
The nose of the truck will be up past that rack.
Okay,
He can park his nose up all the way up to the edge of my other driveway, that other line that's there. That's where my driveway stops. He can park all the way up there, then I can unload. Then he can just back up straight into that driveway where he came from and leave, turning out on the road. That was the way I had planned it. That's what I thought we had discussed that would work.
he turns right coming out or turns left?
He'd turn right, he'd keep on going the way he came from. He'd come from the east and, yeah, go west.
And then do you have a plan for the material? I know we talked about that, how to get the materials
Well, that's,
drained or inside?
I mean, that's another, I guess you guys saw the drawing. Behind it, eventually I want to put up a bigger hoop building to put everything inside. And I don't know if that's something, I mean, obviously, it's behind that on the other side of it. I put back
You're
here.
talking this dashed area there.
Yeah, that's something that was just where I thought I would put it if I put up something else to store lumber.
long will it take to get this drive put in?
Oh, I can do that in the next month. But I don't want to put it in and then, I mean, I'd like to have the okay and everything before I put it in.
How many deliveries do you anticipate?
This year it was almost once a month, not quite.
Is this,
I'd get a semi in.
is your delivery for this month been done already?
No. I'm slowing down obviously because it's winter or end of the year's come around, so I'm not ordering as much.
The highway department has approved it reluctantly.
So they have not issued the permit yet. They were waiting to see kind of how everything worked out. They did give us input. They still had concerns about the semi being able to maneuver on site. And I'm not that guy. I'm not the highway guy. Just from the standpoint of being able to maneuver and then back out, not getting him backing into the right of way. I think that's the key aspect of it all.
Just wondering if he expands it as he's discussed, maybe if that makes any difference to what their concerns are. I mean, I know you can't answer that for them.
So Isaac, I'm assuming both these racks are moving.
Well, yeah, if the hoop building would go up out and back, there would be no lumber storage up there.
Okay, well, but you just said the semi's gonna pull up here and pull over here, so those racks will have to go if the semi's gonna be able to pull up, right?
Well, he could just, those racks are like, I think they're like 40 feet off the road, 30 to 40 feet. I was gonna have him just pull his nose just on this side for now. Until we move that rack. I mean, I could possibly move that rack over beside the other one for now until we get the hoop building up. That way a semi could move, come in easier.
Move it over behind the one behind the fuel tank.
Yeah, right in there.
What's your anticipated timeline for the hoop building?
As much time as you guys can give me. Next year is what I was hoping for.
I think the immediate concern is a safety issue for me. I mean, that's the big thing. And then the rest of it is a concern, but secondary to that. Any other questions?
So can you have the driveway and the fuel tank moved in 30 days?
The fuel tank, I'm not sure. I gotta possibly have a buyer for it. That's taking it.
Empty?
It's almost. I can empty it with what I have there. If not, I'm gonna put it on auction, which I'm not sure when that auction is. If not, if I don't get it sold, I could move the fuel tank out back somewhere until I get it sold.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone here in support? Anyone in opposition? You, sir, did you want to speak?
Oh, I support it, but.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
The one thing too, I should clarify for the sign. Sign's the second part of that hearing. It does have to be relocated. It is in the right of way currently. Regardless, it's gonna, if you approve it at the size or say no, it has to be smaller, either way, it's gonna have to be moved out.
Okay, discussion.
John said he was out there.
I drove by and stopped. It looks like if the proposal is there, it looks like that should take care of the safety standard and the fuel tanks.
This one, or, so if the fuel tank's gone, that can go up further this way? Is that what we're
Well, no,
saying?
we're talking about trucks being able to pull in, and of course, he's not gonna control whether they're gonna swing west or east.
Okay,
But, you know, I believe there's enough room.
Get them off the road and into
Yes.
property maneuvers.
Safely, yeah.
And
And if this rack goes over here, that'll give even more. The tank and the rack.
Okay, so the issues are moving the fuel tank, moving the rack, and the sign. Are those the three immediate issues?
And then address it, if you're allowing for the hoop building, sounds like within the next year. And then at that point, all stock will go inside that building. I understand.
Want to put that in a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have motion, seconded. Can you reiterate the motion for us, Matt?
Yep. So you're moving to approve both the exception and the variance. The exception would be to allow the home-based business with the conditions that within 30 days, the drive is installed, the fuel tank is moved, and the southern rack on the existing driveway will allow for more parking. That you're approving his future expansion hoop building within the next year, at which time all stock will go within inside that building.
Yes.
And then the variance part, you're approving him to allow him to keep the 60 square foot opposed to 24 square foot. With the idea it has to move out the right way.
The only question is the sign. How far does it have to move out, move back? That isn't gonna interrupt the trucking part.
I'd say that's gonna be the key aspect. It can't be done in such a way, yeah. So let me show you the video of it. Okay. So the sign's gonna have to move back up to the edge of where that drive is. Now, if he's got a semi coming in there, he may want to rethink that because
Entirely in the right of way.
Move the sign up to the house.
yeah, he can move the sign to the other side. Spot.
It definitely needs relocation.
Okay, everybody understand the motion?
Yep.
It's been seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Isaac, do you follow the motion?
Yeah.
All right. You will still need to get a sign permit. And then you'll need to get your driveway permit, get that finalized from the highway department. We'll talk to them as well, just so they know if Mike doesn't follow up with me, then I'll talk to him.
Okay.
All right? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your cooperation.
All right, read the next two in. First one is continuance exception 2025-106 for Aaron Schwartz. This petition for exception for change and alteration and grant exception 2025-39 by allowing addition to the existing building 31.66 feet to the right of way in an ag district. Property is located on the south side of 850 north and 1650 feet west of 700 west in Scott Township. Along with that, we had continuance of variance 2025-262 to allow the new building to be 31.7 feet from the right of way. Variance part of this has been dropped. So these two were continued from last month in order to see if the petitioner could come up with a plan that would not require a variance to encroach into that right of way, or I'm sorry, encroach into that setback any further. Talked to the petitioner listened, worked well, and they've come back with a plan putting the addition between these two buildings. So the variance part of this is no longer needed. They just simply need the exception to allow the expansion of this business. Right there's the property in question. If you remember right, again, that previous addition was going to come out this way. Now they flipped it around to the other side of the building, listening to what the board did request at that last hearing. To the north, off to the east, and coming back around petitioner's house right there. Right there. So if you can imagine that addition connecting the two buildings on the site plan presented. For the original hearings, both legal ads were properly noted or ran, and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified. On.
Okay, I'm Aaron Schwartz. Yeah, I guess we're just wanting to tie those two buildings together is what I'm here for today.
Aaron, thank you for listening and taking the time to hear the board.
Take care of what needs to be done. We appreciate it. So, thank you. Anybody here in support? Any opposition?
Nothing on file.
Motion?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second that. Motion to approve, presented, seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Approved. Thank you.
All right. Next two cases we can take together, same property, slightly different questions on each. First one is a continuance, and this is continuance of exception 2025-78 from Lamar Boss, and this petition for exception to allow storage warehousing in an ag district. Property is located on the west side of Old State Road 15 and 0 feet south, 1300 north in Van Buren Township. Along with that, we have the new case, variance 2025-289 for Lamar. And this is a petition for a variance to permit allowing storage warehouse to be located 45 feet from the north right-of-way, 34.5 feet from the northeast right-of-way, 50 feet from the east right-of-way, and 20 feet from the south property line. Allow outside storage and no screening requirement. Property is located on the west side of Old State Road 15, 0 feet south of 1300 north in Van Buren Township. Right there's property in question. If you remember from the previous hearings, there were a number of different questions that were raised and concerns. One was about the driveway, concerns with where the property lines were, how that was going to integrate. So a lot of different moving parts that we wanted to address before the hearing. What they're back with now is the exception to still allow the warehousing, but with a site plan that shows the setbacks and the variances to address those. So really, the two setbacks that they're asking for that are most relevant. 45 feet from the north right of way. So the north right of way, this is that new Bradford T. Jackson building bridge. So from the right of way of Brad's Bridge, it is, they're asking to be 45 feet, should be 50 foot in an ag district. Along with that, 34.5 feet from the northeast right of way. So because of the way it angles, that's coming into play. 20 feet from the south property line, and they're going to discuss this, is actually within the driveway. So 20 foot would be the minimum setback in a ag district. And then 50 feet from the east right of way, which is the east right of way is the old State Road 15 right of way. 50 feet would be the minimum setback there. Show the video just so we have that back pressure in mind. Again, looking off to the west, here's the drive that we had questions on. Actually, their sign is on the ag property to the north. Intersection of the new bridge, 1300, Syracuse-Webster, or Syracuse-Milford Road, sorry. Off to the northeast. Bison, yep. Bradford L, not Teeth, Bradford L. The background. Next shot's going to be a little bit different aspect, just showing the depth of the property back to the railroad. Now looking to the north. So again, that driveway actually encroaches into the property to the north, based off of the information we've been provided. That was one of the questions. Last shot just kind of giving you a different perspective. There. For the continuance and the new hearing, both legal ads did run properly in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner. When Lamar came in to see me, this had been a couple times before the board already, and I looked at it trying to figure out exactly what we needed to accomplish this. Lamar had already been in front of the Milford Town Council. They provided him with the approval. They like the project. They like the way he's got it laid out, and they don't have any problem with no screening and outside storage. It's apparently something that's needed in Milford. Lamar says he gets calls routinely for people looking for storage facilities, and there aren't any available. We did some digging, and it took some digging to find out what was going on. When I got into this, I realized I had an old file on this because I represented the Weiser farm when the state came in and condemned the area for the Bradford L. Jackson Way. And the result of that condemnation agreement was this leftover parcel on the south side of the road that pretty much made it useless. It's good for growing grass, but it's not big enough for agriculture. You can't get a piece of equipment in there. And it's also got right of way on two sides that in an agricultural district have 50-foot setbacks. It's got the railroad on the other end, so you can't even access it from the west. And it has an easement for the benefit of the industrial property to the south for ingress and egress over a 20-foot strip by 400-foot strip along the south edge. So we tried to accommodate all of that and make it work. And the result was the site plan that I've managed to shrink to a size I think you can still see, but show you where the buildings are proposed. And the idea is utilize the tract to the best extent possible, since the state condemned it and left this little tract over, but at least make it a productive piece of ground, both from a standpoint of providing a service needed in the community and generating some tax revenue. So we end up with two buildings. If you start at the far right-hand side of that drawing where it says entry, we've got a 50-foot setback from Old 15. And that would be the area where traffic would come in, sharing a driveway or a portion of a driveway to the south, the industrial property. And there's plenty of room for queuing as people come in and either go to the north building or the south building. The driveway would be between the two buildings with access from that side. And there's plenty of room with no more traffic than is generated by this type of rental storage business. That allows us to keep 20 feet between the buildings, the north building being 265 feet by 10 feet, and the south building being 615 feet by 15 feet. And I think if you look hard, you can see those dimensions on there, even though I shrank the size down. The area to the north, we've managed to, keep a good distance back from Bradford L. Jackson Way, but 45 feet is the maximum we can get in there. We can't meet 50 feet. If it were zoned industrial, as the property is to the south, the east, and the northeast, we wouldn't have a 50-foot setback. We'd have a 35-foot setback. So from that standpoint, it's practical. But making all this work on a very strangely configured property, thanks to the state of Indiana, was a challenge. One of the challenges involved the 20-foot easement that goes to the industrial property to the south. I had to do a little digging to come up with the document that created that, but the second page in the documents I handed out of the warranty deed, on the second page of that warranty deed, it says, together with an easement for ingress and egress, and then describes it as being a parcel 20 feet by 400 feet. After that warranty deed, I then provided you with a copy of a survey that was prepared at the time the Weiser Farms actually sold that industrial property to Howard Sellers at the time, and shows the exact location of that 20 by 400 foot easement. There was only a 25-foot access onto Old 15 for this industrial tract, and they obviously thought they needed more. Weiser said, fine, we'll give you an additional 20 feet. Originally, it was just for utility purposes, but ultimately it ended up being an ingress-egress easement. But it's not exclusive. The current owner of that property to the south, the industrial property, has the right to use it and does use it. He's extended it well west of where he has a right to, because it's only 400 feet long, and he's probably at 650 or 700 feet with what he has paved and is currently using. But that doesn't make any difference. We have the right to use it just like he uses it. He's put a gate across a portion of it. That's got to go because he has no right to block my client's use of that 20-foot strip. It's not an exclusive easement. That solves part of our entry problem. We'd like to combine our entry with at least a portion of that industrial entry, just because we don't want more entrances going on to Old 15 at that location. If we can combine them, even if we have to add a little bit to the 20 feet that we own, we can do that and provide reasonable access from Old 15 into our site. The site plan tries to reflect that, but the 34.5-foot setback request from the right-of-way is because of the angle that was retained by the state of Indiana after the condemnation. They do this routinely, trying to prevent any construction or driveway access close to the intersection they're creating. And the next to the last page is a copy of NDOT's right-of-way parcel plat. And that shows the strange angle, the crosshatched area that the state actually took from Weiser at the time that was condemned for the roadway. And you'll see those legs coming down, going south and north at Old Road 15. And that was to prevent any driveway going in very close to State Road 15. We know we can't do that, but we have plenty of room to get our access in over the existing 20-foot easement and a little bit more, because that 20-foot easement is actually shown as item E-1 on that drawing. And you can see we've got plenty of room south of NDOT's right-of-way to install our entrance. So we've solved that problem. But to make the buildings usable in the configuration that's proposed, we need these setbacks. They're not major. 45 feet instead of 50 on the north, and 20 feet on the south, which is in an agricultural district, actually complies with the sideline setback. And then 34.5 feet on that northeast corner from the strangely carved out right of way that the state of Indiana has. From the standpoint of the variances, they make sense. From a practical difficulty standpoint, thanks to NDOT's decision to condemn this property, it left this strip. And this may be the highest and best use of that property. We know it's not going to be farmed. Maybe somebody could put a carrot patch in it, but otherwise you can't get equipment in and out of there to take care of it. We've got the railroad on the west. That's not an issue. We've got industrial zoning, I-2 to the south. We've actually got I-3 to the northeast. We've got good access off of Old Road 15. We're not interfering with anything. And from the standpoint of screening, I drove that way this morning over to the hearing. You could put up a 20-foot tall screen fence and you'd still see right over it, right into the area where the storage is going to be. Lamar wants to have outside storage on the north side of the north building. There's plenty of space in there to do that. Outside storage is in high demand. It would be well organized and going to be licensed vehicles, properly registered. They're going to be placed in an orderly fashion so that they can each be placed in and taken out at the whim of the owner. We know they don't go in and out all that often, but that would allow for the outside storage on the north side. And again, screening would be a useless act. It doesn't do anything from the standpoint of screening anyone. We have a large industrial building to the south. If anybody's worried about screening to the south, we've got that screening already in place from that large industrial building. So if we look at the variance, it's not dangerous. We've managed to coordinate our access into the property off of State Road or Old State Road 15 so that we are far enough south of the new intersection that we're not going to create any problems. We can use at least 20 feet of the driveway to the south of us for our own access as well, because that easement to the industrial property is not exclusive. We're going to have low volume in and out. We already know that. It's not a retail operation. It's storage, and people don't go into storage buildings. If you talk to the people who own those storage buildings, They say sometimes people don't visit them, but once every 3 months. Once they get it out of their sight, they don't even think about going back and looking at it. We've got Milford's approval. The last page of the handout I gave you is an email from Tricia Gall, the town clerk, indicating they considered this at their July meeting. They don't have any problem with the lack of screening. They don't have any problem with the setback variances. If you were to look at the videotape of that meeting, they're actually very favorable for this use in this location. Effect on values, we're having no effect on values. We've got an industrial site and nothing but railroads and street rights of way adjacent to us. The practical difficulty is just apparent from the configuration that the state left once they put in Bradford L. Jackson Way and the Brad Bridge. So we think that from an exception standpoint, it's logical. It's a permitted use as an exception in an agricultural district, storage warehouse. From a practical standpoint, it may be the only thing that's ever going to go in there and generate any tax revenue. And from a variance standpoint, we meet all the requirements. We've consulted with the town, their approval's clear, and we need yours to move forward.
Couple clarifications, Steve, just so we can make sure we're on the same page. The outside storage, is it just gonna be in this area here? You said north of, or is it gonna run the whole length of the north building?
You're
The
gonna,
whole length of the north side?
is your outside storage gonna go west of the north building?
Lamar, could you come up, please, and give your name just so we have it for the record?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Lamar Bost.
The question is, there's the end of the north building. Are you gonna have any outside storage that would be here, being north of the south building? Along here?
At the current time, I would say no. Obviously, that changed at some point. I'd have to come back, talk to the board. But initially, I would say north of the south building.
North of the,
In this area right here, Lamar.
Right.
okay.
The other you had mentioned at one time it's gonna be, is it still gonna be a fence, chain link fence around the
Correct, security fence.
So with that, where will the fence start with the drive? Is it gonna be right at there? Is it gonna be pushed back?
The fence would start, the gate would probably be, I have to study that a little bit more, but my,
Just, yep, push the button, there you go.
I would like to run the gate here and start the fence here and go up and follow the property line.
And the reason I'm asking is that's gonna reduce that stacking distance in quite a bit, because that drive's about 25, if I calculate right, 25 foot to the end of the drive, so that fence is pushed any further south, it's gonna be,
Yeah, well, the drive, the existing pavement's 20 feet, or roughly 10 feet over that 20-foot easement. So if we were to go north from the south line, 50 feet, before we started the gate and started the gate at the north side of the south building, that's where you want it, I assume. So you've got some security right here.
that would give more distance to get those trucks coming, whoever's coming off, so it's not blocking, so not backing up, waiting for them to get in, because I'm guessing a keypad or some sort.
Yeah. So, and I don't have a problem with moving the fence to the inside of the building.
I mean,
And
from
I
a
understand-
technical standpoint, you could put a gate here, but then you'd have to put another gate up here, have your security.
So there are two buildings. How many units in each building then?
62 in the north and 27 or 26. Say that right?
No.
South building is the longer building, so it'd be 62 there, on the south side. And on the north side, it's either 26 or 27. And I wouldn't build both buildings at the same time. I would build the south one, and as he said, since last November, I've had 132 phone calls for storage space. If it filled up, I would build a second building. If the first one didn't fill up, then I would need to build the second one. But I'd like to have the approval in case that happens, because I think it will. It did when I built the first one in 2015. I've been full for 5 years. And people keep calling, wanting space that I don't have, so I'm trying to solve that problem.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Seated. Anyone here in support? Anyone in opposition? Okay, discussion, what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we approve it as presented, because if we don't, this is kind of unique parcel. I only know one guy that would grow popcorn in it, but it's too far north for him. And so from an agricultural perspective, we need to use this before Mr. Bost goes out and takes a piece of cornfield.
I agree, I second.
Okay, we have a motion, you heard, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's passed. Carried. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, next case for here is variance 2025-281 for Troy Lear. In this petition for variance which permit the construction of a second-story addition 8.1 feet from the right-of-way of the road and 1.3 feet from the west property line. Property is located on the south side of EMST 52C lane and 2,067 feet south of 650 north in Tippecanoe Township. Right there's petitioner's home as it currently sits, and you've got a site plan that shows you what will ultimately be there, and then the survey showing you what's there today. If you can imagine, fairly large remodeling project. Ultimately, though, what they're asking for is to go up on top of the existing garage, and that is currently at 8.1. They want to go up and in line, panning around, looking to the north. This is just south of where the old Baptist camp used to be on Tippy, reference. Panning around. 2 houses to the east at the dead end. Next shot's going to be flipping around to the other side. There. Right there is where they're requesting the 1.3 feet from the sideline. You can see, a little deceiving. Most of the setback is on the neighbor at that point. Around again. Visual through there. New house off to the west. Or on the lakeside, looking back down that same line, again, right there, that line is where the 1.3 feet setback would be. Running around the lakefront. You can imagine, see on the site plan, it's coming out. Side. And that side, we're on the east side now. This one will meet the 5-foot side setback. Right there, you can really see it, a flowing well. So there's a flowing well between the two properties. You can kind of see the mat right there. That's going to show a lot better right there. Used to be a deck in that area. Again, this side, 5 feet from the side property line. Roadside, again, just giving it a perspective all the way around. For this hearing, legal, I did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding.
Petitioner?
Good morning, Troy Lair. Just looking to build a year-round home. This was a weekend getaway for the last many, many years. And COVID, we moved down here full-time, and I don't want to go back. So we wanted to make this more of a year-round.
Troy?
Where are you gonna put your generator?
It's going in the garage wall. Let me see if I can- right here. Building it in.
There's gonna be a bump in for the AC
Correct.
generator and
AC and generator.
just because it's such a massive project, existing structure stays, you're just adding on to it. You're not tearing this all the way down to the foundation.
No. There will be parts that where we bring the foundation here to apply would be set back on the west side. This line we do as well because we're coming back.
But all those walls stay up. None of that's getting torn all the way down.
Just right, this line here is where we encroach from the old, and we're bringing it back within 5 with the overhang. The overhangs on this home are 9 inches or 12 inches, not as much as the 18 that are there now.
So
And we're doing that.
all this remains as is.
The garage, yes.
Okay, this too, the house part remains.
Correct.
You're not tearing the house down.
No, there'll be a lot of interior changes, yes.
Can you clarify the flowing well issue for us?
I don't know if it's an issue.
Well, I guess I don't understand exactly where that is and what happens to the water. I see
The water,
a pipe there going,
the intention there is just to tuck that all in a drain. Right now, it all drains and goes out to the lake. And we're going to bring a drain from the back all the way through there that'll dump into and all the way out. All our downspouts will dump into that as well.
so the flexible, like,
That was all drainage from before. It has nothing to do with the well. Yeah, and this will be a larger tile that goes all the way from the back of the property, all the way through down to the lake.
any other questions?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's applied our house for years. That's what we utilized.
Okay, thank you. May be seated. Anyone in support? Come forward, please.
Darren and Dawn Roche, we live on the west portion of his house, neighbor west, and we fully support this project.
So
Not this side, other side.
They are
we're in the other side.
That side.
right there.
Okay,
We're the 1.3 feet.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone in opposition?
We do have 2 letters of opposition. I know I've got these out to you, but this is record. We've got one from Meredith Contos. That's that. The other one is from Amy D. There's the 2 letters that we sent out.
I'm
Okay.
Amy Deal, this is my husband Brad,
Morning.
and we own the property on the east side, the smaller cottage.
Okay.
It's been in my family for 83 years, just inherited last year.
Can you step up just a little bit?
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's been in my family for 82, 83 years, just inherited it from my father last year. We have concerns about the water. It's a big concern for us. The well, which used to be our water source, we just dug a new well this summer. It produces a lot of water. And that we have seen that in our front yard a lot when it gets backed up from the lake. We want to maintain the setbacks. Currently, he's encroaching on our side with the ease, which hasn't been an issue in the past, but if we decide to do something at a later date, that could. What else?
I think elevation
Oh, yeah, property.
of the property, again, water drainage, runoff. What does that look like if the elevation of the property is changed?
Currently, the other
Raised.
side of us has a concrete wall that is significantly higher than our property. Again, when the lake floods, we have had water all the way up to the front of our deck steps in the past when it's been a really bad spring. So if they're higher and the opposite side's higher, that puts us in a valley. As far as the back goes, as long as he's not going farther back than what he is currently, that's okay. It's if he would go back any farther into the roadway that we already had some issues with the people that put our well, the first people we had come out to put the well in, they couldn't do it because of getting equipment back there and the narrowness of the road and the turns and all that stuff, because we are all very tight back there.
And so to say we're opposed, not necessarily, we just want some clear definition.
Some concern.
Concerns, correct.
Concerns, exactly.
Correct.
So we are, as my wife stated, we are the lowest point. And as you take a look at multiple different houses on that line. So that's a big concern. We want water control to be first and foremost, just to make sure that whatever is designed is implemented.
I'm curious, why did you abandon the artesian well?
Because it's not on our property.
Believe it or
We shared it for years. And when we had our land survey, we found out it wasn't on our property. And then we knew he was going to be doing something different. So we drilled a new well.
So probably 60, 70 years ago, the story is told that her grandfather, as well as 2 or 3 other people, physically hand drilled that well. Which is kind of interesting. And at the time, things were kind of done really kind
Differently.
of wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Differently.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank
Yep,
you.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Opposition? All right, have our discussion here. Petitioner, do you want to respond to?
Just some clarification, I know that there was some discussion about tightness back here. And I think if you look at the house here, it clearly defines where the water comes from. This was dead-ended road, so the only 2 people that drive by my home are the Deals and Mrs. Contos. So, and I think if you look at the overhead, that says it all. My intentions are to go down our side and do very similar to what they've done here with a walkway out, keep the water. Obviously, you don't want to create water.
And Troy, if I understood from your presentation, that eastern wall is actually getting shifted over at least, because right now it's at 5 foot to the foundation, so it's probably whatever the overhang is. So it's gonna move over so that the closest point,
Eastern wall, which we're talking about
Right here.
foundation or? Yes.
that
That
whole wall
shifting
will
over,
shift.
shifting over about a foot.
So the closest point will be
Right,
5 foot from
right.
the overhangs.
That's the overhangs, yeah, we're usually within that.
Okay, semantics here.
Yes.
You heard the concern about
Yes.
the water
Yes.
primarily.
Yes, and that's why a lot of the reason we're doing this is.
Okay, but you said it's your intention. That's not a very strong way of putting what you're going to do.
What I'm going to do is put a very similar walkway, just as they have here. Here, and then obviously the lot will be built up. We got basically a bowl from the lake all the way to our front yard, and that's getting filled in. And the intention is to have drains in there and not intentions. We will have drains in there. I don't want to displace my water over on my neighbor's property. Now, I think there's probably issues there, but I don't think we're all the issue. I think maybe look at the home to the east there.
And on top of that, Lee, I will add, he is in a floodplain, so any construction will have to meet the floodplain requirements. Any elevating or filling of the property requires a drainage plan, has to be a detailed drainage plan, has to be submitted to our office, and it must be installed.
Okay.
That's part of the flood control regulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, discussion. What do with this?
As presented.
Oh, so let's, okay, second.
I'll second that, but as they do, if they cap that artesian well, it's just gonna, that water's gonna go someplace. It's gonna filtrate through that water vein and it will stay. And therefore, their saturation will increase. So it's healthier for them to let that artesian well drain as it is now and capture it, take it to the lake. So,
That's what I understood, that it was gonna go into a drain to
Yeah.
the lake.
but the other option, you know, if they wanted to see it quit running, you can cap it, but that really doesn't do any good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Have a motion to approve as presented. We've heard the petitioner's assurances that the water issues will be addressed, and Matt clarified that has to be done as per flood control issues. So, all in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Motion's approved. Case is approved.
All right. Next case we can take up is variance 2025-286 for Stacy Anderson, and this petition for variance would permit the change and alteration of a legal non-conforming seasonal mobile home park by allowing new units and decks to be located 3 feet from interior roads, 4 feet to adjacent units, and 20 feet from the water's edge. Property is located on the north side of 300 North and 1,410 feet east of 800 West in Prairie Township. We are out Hoffman Lake Campground, and this campground has existed for a number of years, has had a couple expansions that we've approved. And what they're wanting to do is start look at replacing units, and they're looking at trying to establish a blanket for that use. Right, here's a video. So I'm out at the main entrance area. This is kind of a spur off. If you're familiar with the campground, that would be where the boat launch is, right down at the end there. Those units are on, they're there. That was a whole nother thing. Looking to the north, right through here, this is what I'll call the older section of the park. So these units, most of these units are within that setback that they are requesting to be replaced. That would be the lakeside, kind of a little circle there area. Some of those units are on the water, some are off. And around the main store, facility offices, caring for that pavilion up to the north. That's kind of lakeside. Okay, so right here is where this would be the water's edge. They're requesting to be allowed to go within 20 feet of the water's edge within the unit. So up and down the shoreline, some of those are currently at 20, some are further back. So I would assume they'll be working with that. As you can see it curve around, they get closer as it goes further. Shot. Now I'm a little deeper into the park, looking back down, again, requesting to go 4 foot off of that interior road. No, I'm sorry, 3 foot off of the interior road and 4 foot between units. That's the lakefront right there. Looking to the north is a newer section that is labeled on the map. That section is actually vacant right in through here. So you can see the picnic tables, the electric, not permanently set at this point. Around. We're into some of the newer section. The north units are newer and were approved earlier back than the main park was itself. So those typically, most of those units meet those setbacks. 15 minimum setbacks would be 15 foot from the interior road, 20 foot between structures and units. So you can see those have some good setback, good separation between them. Colder coming off that lake than it. Cabins right there. Now the north section, you'll remember we did approve some teepees that were approved up there. That's been longer than I'm sure I can think. Those are there. That's not part of this hearing. Those exist. Those are. And just coming around the park, just kind of showing that north area as well. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
I'm Stacy Anderson, one of the owners at Hoffman Lake Campground. I mean, it's for these sections that you're seeing right here that's back on the north side of the property. Those are easier to put at the 4 foot and 3 foot because those lots are bigger. They were newer when my grandparents put them in, I think 20 some years ago. The issue is always the middle of the campground, and he's got the map. These sections right there. One of the very first parts of the campground that my grandparents put in, and those we are very particular on the campers that we put in to those spots. I have a set regulation of length for those. I just went through for the ones that we have available for people to rent for next year, that some of them can only be 30 foot long. Some of them can only be 32 foot long, and that is including the 3 foot setback. And we have actually been doing that for newer campers that come in just because people drive crazy in there. We are very, my husband is a mean person when he sees somebody going over the 5 mile. I mean, we've had to kick people out before because they were just driving erratic. And with how close those campers are in the middle, kids just bolt in and out of there. So we have widened the roads with plans to pave those. That's like the setting for it. And that is including the 3 foot setback. Now, there is one camper that was put there by my grandparents. It is 1 foot off the road, and that was with us pushing it back as far back as we could because there was a tree there. Otherwise, everything is pretty much set 3 foot off, and anything going in. We have regulations on our decks. It can be no longer than their camper and no wider than 8 feet. Now, if there are newer campers coming in and for some reason their deck can only be 7 foot, I would let them know because of the 4 foot interior deck rule.
Stacy, just to clear, so if I'm following you right, really, the only section you're asking for the variances on.
Yeah.
all The southern.
Yeah.
Boulder area.
Yeah.
That north area meets it fine.
Yeah.
What about the area where these transient
Yeah,
sites?
yeah.
those-
So
that
anything,
empty area is the transient sites. And when I say transient, those are the ones that are gonna come and go throughout the year.
Yeah, so all of these are transient and then
Okay.
these 12 right here are
Okay.
transient as well,
Okay.
along with the country pass.
Just, and I'll say this, Stacy, I've been out there a number of times.
thank you. Except you caught my zinnias that I just laid on the ground.
Hey. No, but, so parking, and you guys acknowledge it too, the middle units, do they have like an overflow parking?
Yeah, so if you wanna,
Push the map down. This, for anyone in this area or this area, they have all of this.
Okay.
Right here. And we've, yeah, that's
another thing of ours, people don't wanna listen to it, yeah. That's why the 5 mile an hour rule, yeah, my husband's been getting on people.
Yes.
Says she's the
I wasn't going to say it, Kevin, but.
It's actually not.
That was, I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, we've got some older people who say they've been there for 43 years and they don't really care to listen to us. So we actually have slips now for them. Like if they don't want to do it, then we'll find them for
I
it.
can only, just being out there, I know how narrow it was.
Yeah.
Walking, I wanted
Yeah.
to get vehicles on both sides. So that was one of the concerns I had.
It's quite a challenge bringing the old camp up to state.
It is. A lot of them have conformed to it and understand. We're like, guys, the roads are super narrow here. You cannot be parking along here. If you have an issue with getting to your site and then parking it and then walking there, we'll have to figure something out, but we can't have you parking over there.
It's a new money-making idea. Shuttle service.
Get some rental golf carts first and then we'll do it.
Obviously, you've put a lot of time into planning and figuring out what you said. How do you monitor? I mean, are you out there how often and how does that work?
What do you mean monitoring what?
Well, you're talking about people going over the speed limit.
Oh, we're out there. That's mostly on the weekends, like a Friday to, yeah, we live here. Oh yeah, we're out there every Friday. My husband's usually always there too. If we do have an issue with the speeding or parking, we'll just ask them to move and show them where to park.
I got it. You got cameras out there that you.
We
monitor?
do-ish, yeah. At the front, we've got some. Oh, yeah. We would have,
Yeah.
yes.
But they live right here, Lee, so they are, unlike some of our parks, they're right there.
Yeah.
Full time.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Anybody in support? Anybody in opposition? It's your pleasure.
I move that we approve this presented.
Have a motion to approve as presented, seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
All right. Next case we can take up is variance 2025-287 for Lapel Family, and this is a petition for variance which permits construction of a residence addition 3.9 feet from the west property line. Property is located on the north side of Hatchery Road and 281 feet west of Denzel Drive in Turkey Creek Township. White House right there is the house in question. And what they are proposing to do is come out from that house with a new addition, and that addition off of this sideline will end up being 3.9 feet. Looking at the video, panning around, we're on Entry Road right down there. This is the opposite side, just giving you some perspective of what that side looks like and how impassable that side is. So again, if you can see that coming out, and that pine tree that you see is just about on the property line for perspective. I'm looking down the side. This is the side that is 3.19 feet from the sideline. So about that, I'm on the neighbor's property video. The sidewalk is on the neighbor's property. Back up toward the main road. Now, next shot's gonna be down, just giving you the perspective looking back up. Again, that addition would go out towards that pine tree and be in line with the existing house. Or the hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners. Is anyone here for lapel? Bump them and see if they show. All right. Okay, jumping over that one, we can go to variance 2025-288 for Dustin Mans. In this petition, which permit allowing a residence addition, enclosed garage wall to remain constructed 11.2 feet from the south right-of-way. Property is located on the north side of Armstrong Road and 0 feet north of First Street in Plain Township. Right there is petitioner's property in question. We're in Oswego. Oswego. Yep. And if you are familiar with Oswego and Bud Van Scoy, this is Bud's old house. Right there, and petitioner is working on a number of different projects, but if you remember that looking at the picture, the garage door was actually on that south side, exited right out onto Armstrong Road. Panning around, there's Oswego, Mini Mart would be up the way. So if you can see where those windows are, that was the garage door. Petitioner's taking that out. Next shot's going to show you just how close that was at that time. You can see very close. I don't know that I ever saw anyone park in the garage because it was so full of stuff by the prior owner. Stuff. Treasures. Yeah. Next shot. Okay. Now you can get perspective. The garage door has been moved around the side to give more access. And I'm going to say a safer access. Ultimately, they're asking to leave it as constructed, 11.2 feet from that south right of way. Or the hearing legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners.
You're on, sir.
Dustin Mans, property owner. Just asking to leave the garage door where it's at now. Once we framed in on the south end where the existing door was and moved it to the other garage door opening. I mean, if you're familiar with that property on Armstrong, all the parking for that garage and house was right along Armstrong. I mean, you open your door, you're right on Armstrong, you're gonna get hit. I mean, I just don't think it's feasible to leave it there. I mean, if I sell this house down the road, I mean, it could be one this, I sell it, be one of your loved ones, family member, whatever. I mean, just imagine taking a car seat with a baby out of the back seat on Armstrong. I mean, it's a fatality to happen. It's just a whole lot better what I done, moved it over on the west end, and county highway department's all for it. I mean, they said the best thing could ever happen with that property in their opinion, because they say they've had several almost accidents right there. I mean, people parked along the road, snow plowing in wintertime. It's just a no-brainer in my opinion.
So this is after the fact? Yes, it is after the fact. So he will have to go through and get permits. We're also working through the flood permitting, but yes.
Everything's in compliance with Matt Sandy. He's aware of that. And I mean,
Did you tell us why you didn't get it?
I didn't think I needed to because there's already a garage door on the west side. I thought, well, with the safety, what the highway department told me, I'm just going to frame those 8 studs in and just for safety, keep it on the west end where there's nothing to happen fatality there.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody in support?
We do have one letter of support from Deborah Frank.
That would be my letter of support.
I did see out there.
Thanks.
Do you want to speak? If you do, you need to come to the
Not necessarily,
Your letter
but
speak?
just for it.
She lives directly to the north.
All right. Anyone in opposition?
Kyle.
All right.
What an improvement.
It is
Yeah,
an
it
improvement.
is.
I move to approve as presented.
I'll second it with an attaboy.
We have a motion to approve as presented. Any discussion?
Was that with a after the fact permit?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Is
With-
that a part of the motion?
Right.
And a second? Yes. Okay. Good catch. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That's when we can start working through the next steps.
I'll be in soon.
All right.
Get the permit.
Thanks for coming.
And writing a letter.
Thank you. Hopefully good.
My girls see your girls. Like for a meeting. Is it clear? Is your partner? I'm just trying to do all the stuff he did. You don't know all the stuff they did. Oh, he wrote some stuff down, but he was left-handed. I pick up his files and they all fall on the ground. Upside down there.
All right. Next case we can hear is exception 2025-112 for shed time. And this petition for exception for the purpose of allowing self-storage warehouse in a commercial district. Property is located on the south side of County Road 200 North and 0 feet east of State Road 13 in Washington Township. Yogi Corner. If you know, this is where you turn. Yep, everyone knows it well. Right there is the property on the corner, looking south along 13 at the intersection right there. And panning around the area, see the county road heading to the west, looking north. State Road 13, Loose Moose would be right across to the north. Back around to the property right through there. Next shot, now we're looking directly into the property. So there is a slight rise right there. That round stop sign for the intersection. Loose Moose. Going, you'll run right into Yogi. Driveway right there, vacant site. Petitioner is asking for storage warehousing, and one thing that I didn't notice, and I'm gonna say it looks like it's going to be, and the petitioner can elaborate on it, many storage barns instead of one large building. So I'll let him elaborate that. For the hearing, though, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified.
Calvin Slaybaugh with Shed Time. Yeah, as you can see on the site plan, that's what we're proposing to do with that. He made a comment on the portable units. That's just the pictures of an existing facility we have in Auburn, Indiana, just so you kind of see what we're proposing to put in there.
So each one of these will be an individual building, not one, not two large buildings.
Correct, yes.
And I'm assuming all the same color, and they're not gonna be multi-cut, we're not gonna see.
Yeah, that exact color that you're looking at, the wings coating. And part of the reason we do it this way, we're actually a shed manufacturer. So this, if we develop projects like this, we like to do it in the winter, to keep our production facility working when the sheds are slow.
Many, oh, you got it on there. How many units are there gonna be?
I'm actually not sure without counting.
Too much fills up.
Yeah, yeah. The 3/4 acre. I'm
175.
have you, I know you're showing the drive as it sits right now. Have you considered relocating the drive at all? Pushing it further to the east? And the reason.
I'm not sure if that actually shows the way it really should,
Okay.
but kind of all along the site, there was access.
But you're gonna have a controlled entrance, I'm assuming.
Well, I wasn't really intending to unless that's required.
Ugh.
I was going to do lights and cameras, but
200 north. So when I say controlled entrance, I'm not necessarily saying gated, but you're
okay.
cut off of 200 north. 200 north becomes one of our busiest roads in the summer. That area is actually the third largest town in the county when Yogi's fully occupied. That's the third most populated area. So all those people, this is main in and out for them. So traffic safety at this intersection is huge. And you'll note in the comments, I'd even made mention about a turn lane, trying as they're coming off to get that traffic out of the way.
Highway been involved?
County Highway looked at it through our technical committee, and they had the same concerns, wanting to see the drive entrance shifted as far east as possible. And they even considered a turn lane there, just because they recognize the amount of traffic that comes in. And it's good for his business. He's getting a lot of face time on it, but at the same time, all those sites. So
does that need to happen before we finalize?
We could make a condition of approval that would keep him moving. He's also going to have to work through the drainage and all that on site.
What's the process for the drainage?
So the drainage, he'll need to engage an engineer to have a drainage study done. And if a drainage basin or control is needed, they'll have to install it however its design is. If it's not, great, we'll get that documented by his engineer with the right numbers. And driveway access, get that controlled by the highway. But if we feel that a turn lane's in, the highway department will respect our comments and concerns there.
That is responsibility.
That would be his cause.
Any reaction to all that?
I mean, the project as it sits, we try to get all the available space, use the space that we can. And with what we're having to pay for the property if we move it, so it's only contingent on being able to do it. That'll probably put it out of put the cost over what I'm willing to invest for the amount of storage.
Drainage or all.
The drive mostly, the drainage I was aware of may or may not be an issue, and that will probably take away some of it. But if I have the turn lane coming off the side, that'll just take the front of it away. And then I don't have as much usable or rentable space. So, I mean, safety is an issue, so I want to respect that, but I want to know upfront, so I don't want to follow through with the project if it costs me too much. So.
Say a bare minimum, the driveway moves as far east to the full eastern property. That part, it's almost that will help.
It's pretty much a given.
Because it is just one big open area right now. This used to be a lumber guy who.
If you go up the Barbie where the guy lives, it's still a mess.
Thanks, Randy, for the salt. Appreciate that.
He's got boat trailers now in the right of way for sale.
He is on our radar. Yeah.
You look like a town dump.
Well, okay. So, I understand where he's got it. What can we do?
I'd say, whatever you would decide, just make that a condition. Then it's up to him if he wants, once he finds out what all is going to be involved, he can do it. Whether it's a turn lane or not, or moving that drive, conditioned with the drive as far east as possible. That part, say, at least a trade-off to the turn lane. Get that down there. And hearing he's not going to have, no fencing, no.
I wasn't intending
to. That will help, as opposed to the other one where we've got a set be able to pull into the site without being. And I'd say if fencing goes in, at that point, we'd want to read all that stuff.
So is your intention to put gravel across the whole front? Or-
Yeah, but if we have a controlled entrance, we'd have to minimize that to wherever we're bringing. And when you mention controlled, are you talking of like, retaining blocks to funnel traffic in the proper spots?
Taking out the gravel and making the drive clear, I'd say right here. Bring that drive in this way and then access the site there.
Any other questions? Thank you. All right. What do you want to do?
I'd say make a motion to approve it as long as he moves the driveway to the farthest east point.
Second,
I'll second.
question, now does he have to go see the highway?
Yeah,
or-
he'll have to get a driveway permit from the highway department. We'll communicate to them what the condition was, so that they know going into it and we're not talking against each other.
They'll know what we have done.
Yes.
And it's up to them whether they go beyond that.
Yeah, they could. They could say, well, because of this situation, they always had that opportunity.
Okay, any other? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Understand what's going on here.
So the highway department can still condition.
They can always require more. They can require more for a private driveway if they feel it's needed. In this case, what we're gonna communicate to them is that our condition was that driveway needs to be pushed all the way to the east. If they feels more is needed, you'll need to talk to them and see what that case is, but that'll be the minimum.
Okay. How soon will they know?
I will try to email them this afternoon, unless they happen to be watching, they don't know.
So by next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You're welcome. Yeah,
Didn't get that.
yep, that's fine.
Stacy Anderson went to school.
I'm gonna ask you.
Is it?
Wait,
Yeah, we've got one more case when he's all squared away there. Excuse me.
Still, this guy.
Yeah, he's gonna have to, that would be automatic no matter what for commercial project. He has to either show that it needs it or that it's not required and document it. That way, if drainage problems do arise, we can fall back to the engineer. Last case that we bumped was variance 2025-287. Not here, I can't explain. So I'd say just continue to December 9th, our next meeting, and then we'll try and get a hold of them to find out. Yes, yep, that's Lapel family. At one point, they were talking about dropping it. That would be great, but if not, then we can pick them back up in December.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor of continuing, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Other than that, I have nothing else other than happy Thanksgiving.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second it. Second it. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it, Don.
Okay, now are we all?
We're not streaming anymore. Yes.
Is that done?